If you have knowledge, expertise, information, or experience that people are willing to pay for, then you might be a lot closer than you think to generating passive income from your knowledge and on your way to become financially free. The way I see it, there's a huge difference between earned income and passive income. On one side, when it comes to earning potential, and on the more important side, the ability to become financially free at the end. We are all familiar with earned income. This is the income that you were conditioned to earn since you wanted to buy something big as a teenager, and your parents told you something like, well, go get a job. Earned income is typically a salary or earnings when you get paid basically for the hours that you work. If you do the work, you get paid for your time. If you don't do the work, then you don't get paid. It really doesn't matter if you're flipping burgers for €5 an hour or charging €500 an hour as a hotshot lawyer. Either way, you're still trading time for money. And if you'd like to earn more money, you will most likely have to work more hours. Those that work for passive income have a completely different mindset than those that work for earned income. Passive income earners are willing to work today for nothing because they can earn consistent money in the future at almost no work at all. By strategically focusing part of your business on earning passive income, you can become wealthy within a few years. But more importantly, you can become financially free within a year or two, which for me is far more important. However, it's not easy to develop a great source of passive income, which is not only paying the bills with minimum effort and time investment, but that is also synergetic with your business, meaning that the more passive income that you make, the more authority you gain, the more clients you attract, and the higher prices that you can charge. But saying that it's not easy doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. Are you willing to take the first step? Well, I'm going to share with you the first lesson you must understand when it comes to generating passive income in a 21-minute video that hundreds of entrepreneurs paid €4,000 to learn in a live event. In this video, I will share with you why you don't have to work as hard as I did to become financially free, and why your goal should be to earn your first passive income more than anything else, and how earning passive income will make you financially free. And I will share with you 3 different ways to generate €60,000 in the next 12 months. But just before we continue, please take a moment to subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button below. This way I will be able to deliver you every week even more valuable lessons taken during my live events. See you in a moment. How many of you would like to make more money in your business? Anybody? Yes. Wonderful. How many of you would like to work a little bit less in your business? All right. I don't like my business anymore. No. How many of you would like to generate at least part of your income passively? And that's what we're going to do here. All right, a little bit about passive income. A little bit about context before we go into teaching that. About 10, 11 years ago, 12 years ago, maybe I didn't even hear the word passive income. Just never heard about it. Never heard about financial freedom. I had the goals about money. I created money in my life. I knew how to generate money. I knew how to create business. At that time, I wasn't doing very well, but I knew what can work. And then at one point, I was sitting in a course just like you, and I heard first about financial freedom, then about passive income, and it intrigued me. So I started to search about passive income and what is passive income and how do you generate passive income. And we're talking about 11, 12 years ago, then most of what was there was about real estate, which was the main thing for generating passive income. And of course, the online just started then, and everybody was coming up with their own scheme and get-rich-quick stuff, which I tried all of them. Spent tons of money on that, did make a cent, but there was nothing like this course. There was nothing like this, so I needed to figure it out myself. And I think you heard the story. At one point, I came to Rani and Verd, which that was Open Circles at that time, Verd, Rani, and me. And I came to them and I said, listen, I need to find a way to become financially free. I need to find a way, and because I can't find anybody to teach me that, then I have to do it myself, so I'm quitting. And I quit Open Circles, and I told them, you run Open Circles, I will come in the weekends when you need me to teach, but all the rest of it runs on you. They were willing, they agreed to that, and I sat at home, basically sat home on the internet with my computer and tried to figure it out. So I was studying from everybody that was talking about it. As I mentioned, most of it didn't work at all, actually just cost me money. Most of it was just schemes. And I needed to figure out my way, but after 15 months, it worked. Actually, it worked pretty much fast, pretty much immediately. After a month or 6 weeks maybe, I generated my first passive income. It was 7 cents from a Google ad that I had. And I was so happy. I was jumping up and down. There was all those Google ads on my sites that I created all kind of content site. I drove traffic to it, and at one point somebody clicked on an ad, on a Google ad, and I got from Google at the end of the month that my statement was that I just earned this month 7 cents. And I was so happy about it. And I'm not joking about it, and I want you to get it in your mind. We're thinking about financial freedom, and this is a mistake that I'm doing with you. I'm talking to you about the financial freedom. That's where your passive income is bigger than your lifestyle expenses or lifestyle cost, right? And then we're looking at this big number, it's a 4,000 or 5,000 euros for most of us, right? And until we get there, it looks very far. But 7 cents is a beginning. You start with 7 cents. And what I realized at that time, that this 7 cents, I can double it. Now I know what to do. So I can double it. So I can make it 14 cents. And I can double that. And that's, 28 cents. And it grows pretty fast. It grew. Within 15 months, we achieved the goal that we had to become financially free, which at that time, I can't remember now, so don't catch me on the cent, but I think it was about 34 or 3,600 euros. That's what we needed for a family to become financially free. So if we get 3,600 euros per month passively without working for it, then we're financially free. And it took me 15 months to achieve that, which today, I don't think it needs to take so long, but I didn't know anything at that time. And of course, there were not as many tools as it is today, and people were not as savvy as it is, and people were not buying on the internet as easy as it is today, etc., etc. So you can do it a lot faster. Okay, there's quite a few of our students that are doing it in shorter time, or in the same time, or in 2 years, or in 3 years. It doesn't really matter. Okay, but what I want to say to you is that two things actually. First of all, is that don't fall into what I think I'm communicating badly in this way, is that don't fall into that you need to become financially free first. No, you need to generate passive income first. So every euro that you generate, that you don't have to work for that, will first of all encourage you to know that if you can generate 1 euro, you can generate 2 euros. Because it's passively. It's not that you need to work twice. Okay? It's not that you need to be present twice. It's not like the working income that in order to double it, you need to actually work and be present twice. So all you need to do is to catch the thing that works for you and then just multiply it. So I would prefer that you will come to me next month, not next year, and telling me that you become financially free. I will be more happy if you will come to me next month and tell me I generated my first 15 euros passively. It will make me more happy, and it should make you more happy than if I will wait for you for a year and a half to tell me that you're financially free. Because if you can generate within a month already the first, and you can generate that tomorrow, or on Monday, I'll show you how to do that. But if you can generate the first 10 euros passively, it might not look a lot, but it's a different way of thinking. It's a different way of doing. Right now, you're used to make any 10 euros that you're making, you need to work for that. And if you will realize that you can work once and then get those 10 euros without working anymore, and you can get them again and again and again for, as long as it takes, then that's a very different change that's a shift in mindset. Is that making sense? I'm rarely thinking of what can I make actively. Although, we're making most of our income still actively as open circles. Most of it is by giving trainings. But that's not what is interesting for me so much. This is where my fun is. I call this is my hobby. Okay, I'm doing that. But what we're doing here with the cameras that are behind, this is what is interesting. And I'll show you later how powerful it is. Okay, this is what's interesting. But no one of you is doing it. And I hope that after this weekend, you'll start thinking about it. You're going to use your working income in order to generate what you need for the passive income. And that's very, very cool. And it's a very different way to think. So this is one thing I want to mention. And the other one is that passive income, it's not really difficult to create. But let's put it this way. It's not more difficult than creating active income. It's not more difficult than create what we call active or working income. It's just different. Sometimes it's much easier. Sometimes it's a little bit more difficult. But it's just different. Okay, it's not like it's something that is out there and you cannot get it. You all can generate passive income probably next week, small, just to begin, just to see how it works. And that's sometimes something that, unfortunately, I'm realizing now I never communicated before. Okay, if you have been with us in the passive income before, I would not talk about it at all. I will just tell you the strategy, how to become financially free at the end of it. And then some people going for it, and then they become, and some people look at it and they say, well, that's a big project. I'll do it when I have time. Okay? No, seriously. So then we don't have as many people as could generate passive income as it was possible. So what I will try this weekend to do differently, and there are a few people here and all the team did this training before, that will be different, not because the strategy is different, but because I will emphasize again and again, go to something next week. Go generate the first 10 euros next week, go generate 50 euros the week after that, go generate 100 euro by the end of the month, whatever it is, just to see that you can do that. I mean, remember the first time that you went to work? I mean, my daughter is right now, starting to go out and, making some money for herself, doing babysitting and everything. She's so happy with that. Because before that, money was, she would get it differently. And now she gets money by doing something. And remember for you the first time, it was like, wow, magic. Somebody's willing to pay me for that. Why wouldn't they be willing to pay in a different way? You're just not used to that. So that's something that I would like to show you or encourage you this week. How many of you could use or would enjoy using, they don't have to need it, but could use or could enjoy using another 60,000 a year? Just 60,000. I'm not going for big numbers. Okay? Okay? I'm on purpose, I'm not going for very big numbers. I want to show you something. Okay, I want to show you something about 60,000 euros. And I chose this number on purpose, but it can be any other number. Let's say that you need to earn this money using the systems that you know so far, the working income, right? Now, I don't know what is your hourly fee, and most of you are charging by the hour or charged by the hour before you arrive to us. But let's assume that you charge about, 80 euros an hour, okay? If you're charging more or less, then adjust the calculation. But if you're charging about 80 euros an hour, in order to get this extra money a year, this is extra on what you're doing today, right? So that's about what, 750 hours? By, 80 euros an hour. Am I right? Or am I think so. Yeah? So you need to get 750 euros, 750 hours over a year, right? So per month, that's about 65 hours extra. About. Right? Anybody has 65 hours extra a month to work for paid hours, not for preparing or whatever it is, for paid hours. You still have 65 free for that? Yeah, we have one person in the room. Okay, so you're very welcome to do that. Okay, but for most of us, we don't have that. But that's how people think. That's if you wouldn't come to the financial freedom and to this course, that's what. If I will tell you now, you need to make 60,000 more for whatever reason. You want to buy a house, you want to take, you need to go for a kidney operation, I don't know what. You need 60,000 extra, well, I need to work another 750 hours, pretty much. Would you agree? That's the working system, that's the working income. And that's the thought of an employee, and that's the thought for most small business owners when they don't know any better. But the promise that we promise people, like we promise people in the Master Entrepreneur, double your income, double your free time, in the Train the Trainer, the promise was that when you implement the tools, and when you do what we teach you, you can get into a position where you can charge, where you can make or earn every weekend that you work 15,000 euros. Okay, that was it. We didn't take a big number, but we say you can make 15,000 euros a weekend. In your position right now, how many of you will be happy to get for a 2 days work on a weekend 15,000 euros? Anybody will be satisfied with that for now? Okay, I don't want you to be satisfied with that for the rest of your life, guys. I really don't want to. I was very happy when I got my first 15,000 per weekend. And today I will be very sad if I will get 15,000 euros a weekend. You understand that, right? So it changes, guys. It changes, but 15,000. So if you can make 15,000 a month, then you need to make four weekends. Okay, right? You agree? Yeah. 4 weekends. So you don't need to work 750 hours. You need to work 4 weekends. What I'm doing right now is changing the way you think. Okay, so don't get hooked on the number, but just start thinking differently, how you can make if you need an extra money, for example. So you can work 4 weekends, each weekend for 15,000 euros, yeah, 15K, 15,000 euros. If you will sit for a moment with the material you have, maybe with your mastermind group, maybe with your clients, and figure out what is it that they need that you can support them by educating them this way or another, over a weekend, you can create a training. And it can be a weekend or a day or whatever it is. Now, in order to make this 15,000, there are a few ways to do that. A few ways that I would at least look at that. I would say, well, we can put 100 people in the room. That's how I would think about it. 100 people in the room, each one of them pay what? In order to make 15,000? 150 euros, right? Okay, I can put 100 people in the room, each one of them paying 150 euros. That's one possibility. Another possibility is that I can put 25 people in the room for the weekend or whatever it is, and I can charge them 600 euros, right? 600 euros. Or I can put 10 people in the room, and I can charge them 1,500, right? 1,500. I can do any other combination, but those are just very typical examples. 150 euros for a weekend, that's not a lot. Would you agree? But then you need to get more people. Okay, which means that you need to do more marketing on that. 600 euros per weekend, that's okay. That's reasonable. That's probably will be an average for a weekend. Depends on what. But let's say personal development, which a lot of you are doing, or health or stuff like this. This is 600 euros will be a good price, but not very expensive. 25 people, well, you need to figure them out how to get that. But how long do you have in order to get those people? If you want to do for a year? 3 months. 3 months in order to get 25 people to the room to pay you 600 euros. It's important, okay, that you think this way. It's not mission impossible. Or you can say, well, I'm going for more high-end, and I'm going to charge 1,500 euros for whatever it is that I'm going to do, and then I'm going to only get 10 clients. But again, you have 3 months to get those 10 clients. That's all. Is that clear so far? Guys, is that clear so far? Yes. All right, here's a question for you. And if, by the way, if this option doesn't fit you in any way, shape, or form, then, you know, don't get upset about it. Just relax with that. Okay, this is not what we're going to do this weekend. This is what you already did. Okay, you already know how to create that training, and in the next weekend, in the next weekend, we're actually going to teach you how to sell that very, very easily. Okay, but assuming that you can find, how many of you can find a way that your clients or your prospect will be interested to sit and listen to you or stand and listen to you for a couple of days to learn something from you? Forget about how much money. But how many of you can find a way or think that your clients or prospect will be interested to learn something from you? Okay, so that's the majority of the room. What I want you to do, those of you that raised your hand right now, I want you to think right now, which one of those options, if you have 3 months, which one of these options will be the easiest for you with your clients, with your target audience, which will be for you the easiest to make it happen. If you work in business to business, probably the last option is the best. Okay, this is getting 100 companies to pay 150, that's probably not going to work. Okay, but getting 10 companies to send somebody for 1,500 probably will be easier. If you're doing yoga, then, you know, those are 2 options better than this one, unless this is a retreat. And it can be. You know, you can say, I'm doing a retreat. It doesn't have to be a real weekend. But the point is that you do 1 time every 3 months. Okay, so just right now, just kind of cross your, or mark yourself which one is the most easy option you think for you, even if you don't know yet how to do it, but which one of those options will be easier for you to get? 100 people paying 150, 25 people paying 600, or 10 people paying 1,500? Because we're going to work with that. I want to show you how actually not so difficult things are. Yes? Yes, everybody has it? Was it a no? Okay. For how many of you, just looking at this little exercise so far, and I didn't get to the next step, which is the most important one, how many of you it starts opening your mind to possibilities that, hey, in 3 months, I can do that. You know, even if with what you know today, how many of you think you can do that? So, go home and start figuring it out. Let's take it for the next level. Okay, the next level. Because this requires 750 hours of your actual times being in front of your clients. Would you agree? Or doing something for your clients, right? To get paid for 750 hours, billable hours, right? This one, you need to be standing in front of people for what? 16 hours? 20 hours? Whatever it is. And maybe some preparing for that, so 30 hours, 40 hours. It's 10% of what we had before, right? So you see the leverage? I mean, you're not going to work. Well, it's a little bit more because it's 4 times, yeah. But you're right. Okay, but it's still very far from 750. You see the leverage, right, by working with groups. That's why we teach you the presenting. Okay, even if you don't ever think about it, this is from leverage point of view, it's very, very interesting possibility. But now let's say that we do something else. Let's say that instead of doing this workshop or this training or this retreat or whatever it is 4 times a year, let's say that you do it once. And let's even say that you do it for free. Okay? You ask your mom or your partner or your whatever it is, if you don't have the money, you ask them to help you pay for the room. But what you do also is you put in the room, you put 2 cameras. And you put a couple of guys behind the cameras, and then you take the video and you give it to an editor. And by the end of it, usually from a weekend of 16 hours of teaching or 14 hours of teaching, you will get something like 6 or 7 or 8 hours of video. Good video. Okay? This is called the end result is called a product. That's the word I'm looking for. Okay? So we can look at the possibility of selling 100 products for 600 euros. You can look at any other numbers that works for you. Okay? 100 products for 600 euros. So that's 60,000 euros. I want you to start thinking this way, because it's not really difficult to sell something that people are willing to pay for 3,000 euros, to sell it for 600 euros just because it's a product. You just need to change your marketing. Okay, the marketing needs to be a little bit different because
like some of you said, well, I'm not going to watch it on video because I want to come live. But that's actually not the majority of the population. This is the minority of the population. Most people don't like to come live. They don't like to expose themselves. They don't like to spend the time away from the family. They don't like to be here forever. And they don't like the possibility that I'm speaking so fast and they have no chance to do a rewind. Right? I mean, how many of you forgot 80% of what I said in the Write Your Book? If it's not written in your notebook, you'll never catch it back. But imagine you have it on a video. And if you didn't get something because I was speaking, I was not clear, or you don't remember it, or you want to watch it over a year and not over 3 days. Now, I'm doing for you now a sales pitch. You understand? Now, I don't need to sell you because you're not going to buy it, and I'm not going to offer it for you. But this is so easy to explain to people. You just need to explain differently. There are advantages to be in the room for big groups, right? And then I will talk. If I want to sell you a group, I will tell you how important it is to be with all the people and networking and brainstorming and how important it is to exchange, right? There's a lot of advantages. But there's a lot of advantages to have it as a DVD or a video online or whatever it is. With the time, and we can still create the interaction if it's online, so you can create forums for people to ask questions and answer, whatever it is. It's a matter of communicating a little bit differently. The positioning, the marketing will be a bit differently. But do you see the advantage of having that suddenly as a product, because it's suddenly available to a lot more people that are maybe outside of your circle or local circle. I mean, I will not sell the Write Your Book for 600 euros or for any other price as an online program or as a video to people in Holland. It's shooting myself in the leg. Because I get 3,000 euros per training, right? But what about the rest of the 10% of the world that is left outside of Holland? Or whatever. Why can't I offer them for 600 euros or whatever currency that they're using? Why can't I offer them that course and just getting over a year 100 people to buy? That's it. I'm not talking about the millions and millions. I'm not promising you you will sell out abroad for millions of people. But can you... If you put the effort over a whole year, can you sell 100 products? We all can do that, and I will teach you how, by the way, so you don't have to figure it out. I will teach you how, but what I'm trying to show you is that it's not a job that is impossible. All you need is to sell 100 products for 600 euros. Okay, yes? Now, you think that it's too much for your product because you have, I don't know what, something that nobody else is interested in that, or people don't have money for that, then do it the other way around. You need to sell 600 products for 100 euros. It means that you need to do different marketing and you need to approach more people, but it's not undoable. It's not mission impossible. Does that make sense? Yes. We're talking about the same 60,000 euros. You can work 750 for that. You can work a little bit less hours or a lot less hours by using leverage. You still need to work for that. Or you can do this only once, record it, and use it as a product by packaging it this way or another. And there are so many ways to do it, and I will teach you that tomorrow. That's come tomorrow. And suddenly you generated for yourself 60,000 euros passively. Yeah? Now, just to show you why I chose the number 60,000, if we divide the 60,000 into by 12, then you get to 5,000 euros a month. Okay? How many of you, with all honesty, if you keep your lifestyle in check, with 5,000 euros, you're financially free? That's all it takes, guys. That's all it takes. Okay? And it's not more difficult than generating working income. The first year, you will have to work. You need to generate that. You'll have to get the people into here. For example, if we choose to do that here, you need to get the people here. That's marketing. That will take you some work, maybe 3 months. Then you do that. That's some work. Then you need to, do the marketing for that and getting people in and, setting up everything. That will take you another 3 months, whatever it is. But suddenly, by the end of the year, you have a product that generates for you regularly 60,000 euros. And the nice thing about passive income is that nothing stops you from getting more people. When you're talking about working income, you always have limitations for that. But when you're talking about passive income, when you know how to sell to 100 people, you know how to sell to 110. You know how to sell to 120.
Thank you for watching, and I hope that it inspired you to take the first step on the path to generate passive income and become financially free. And before we say goodbye, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and most importantly, leave me a comment just under this video. I'm happy to read your thoughts and ideas, learn from your experience, and answer any related question. Live fully, stay awesome. From Nisandeh.